Hey everyone, I was creating some little scrappy notepads for autumn. Of course, I've been working on some autumn, and as I mentioned in my previous video with the gel printing, I've been working on some autumn and uh, Halloween. Here's my Halloween and different things. Christmas. This is actually a beach ocean theme one, and this digital is by Laura Spicer. She has some really cool digitals at Tater Bear, and I'll put her link below. But I've been working on different ephemera for my junk journals, and I thought, as I was making these little notebooks, I thought, you know, it would be cool because the piece I put in back, and maybe I just do this, I always decorate, well, I have been decorating this back piece, and I don't really know why, because I guess I was thinking it would be cool to go ahead and be able to use this once you use up your scrappy notebook. I mean, you make your little notes in it, you put it in other places in your journal, or maybe you just leave them all in the notepad. I don't know. But I was thinking if you did use them and put them throughout your journal, or, carried them with you or whatever, it would be nice to be able to keep this because it's so pretty. So I was thinking, you can cut it. You would have something left like this once you took your papers out, and it could become a page tab or, just a page edge embellishment. And then you would have a piece like this for writing. This one I doubled, so it could be another little notebook. You could staple in some papers and have another little notebook, or just a writing spot. Kind of like this one is a double one, I think. Yeah. And so I stenciled on the inside of this one, thinking that when it was done and they cut the top off, they would be able to have another little notepad and could use this as a side, page edge. But as I was doing them, I thought, not everybody's going to want to mess with cutting this off and taking the string out. There's got to be an easier way to pretty much have 3 pieces of ephemera in one. And so I think I have finally figured it out how to do that. This one's cute. I just kept the back page simple with a little book page. This is one of my jelly printing strips, and I stamped it, used it there. These are just a little rub-ons. I mean, this could be pulled out and used as a cluster somewhere else in your journal. Writing spot, again with the rub-on, a little bit of book page. So I just kept my embellishments really simple, but I think that we can make these really fun to turn into the page tabs and a writing spot or another little notebook. So let's mess with that and see what we come up with. I first thought, well, you could put magnets in here, and the little top would be where you could clip it over, but I'm not sure. My magnets are really small, and I'm not sure they would hold very good on the, through the scrappy notebook that we're going to put in here. So I'm not going to do it that way. I'm either going to sew or, well, I'm going to do both. I'm going to sew on my embellishments, and then I'm going to use either eyelets or I'll staple it. We could staple it on the top, but let me show you what I'm thinking. So I'm going to cut this piece off. This is going to be the topper to our scrappy notebook. I'm just going to cut it off just like that. And we're going to decorate this piece. We're going to make it look really cool. This is going to be the notepad part of our notepad. So I'm just going to fold it in 2 because I don't want it this long. I'm going to fold it in 2 and make 2 out of this. Just going to ink this up. I like the torn edge, so I'll just leave it like that. I think I'll round the corners. So we're going to decorate 2 different pieces. And I think I'm going to go ahead and ink this. And I'm going to do a little bit of this too, because I don't really like that stark white. I have not made these before, so I don't really know what's going to happen. These are going to be covered, so I'm not worried so much about that. And then I think I'm going to use a little bit of script stamp, just a little bit of everywhere. Get me something to stamp off on. I want to run it off the edge. Something like that, just to give it some life. That will be a writing spot. I'm not going to put anything else on it because I'm thinking they're going to write on it. But I am going to decorate this side. I think I'm just going to stay with what I've been doing and use a little bit of book page. You can ink around it if you want. This book page is really fragile, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just use glue stick. I always seem to put everything in the left-hand corner. Do you guys have a corner that you tend to always put things in? I don't know why I do that. Keep this really simple. I have a little bit of washi tape just laying here, so I'm going to use a little bit of that. I'll put it over on the edge. Something like that. I have some little numbers here. Maybe I'll just put a little number there. How much easier can it be than this, huh? Okay. So I know that's simple and easy, but it's a writing spot, and I think it's pretty. Maybe I can ink it like this once it's down. And I like that. I think that's pretty. And I'm going to leave these square because I'm going to put my Scrappy pad up here. So let me get some, have a deal like this that I keep all my tea-dyed scraps in. I like to use different colors, shapes. This looks like it's part of an envelope. Will it fit on there? Not very good, will it? I'll use that. Maybe use a piece of this. You don't need to see that, do you? I like to get different shades of my tea dye where it kind of stands out. Make sure they're going to fit on my pad here. Looks like it's folded, so I'm going to unfold this piece and use it because it's pretty. I'm going to tear it so it has a jagged edge. And I'm only going to put, you know, this one has 4 sheets. That's probably good enough. And I'm going to ink around it because I think it helps the layers stand out a little better. I like this one. I'm going to put, I didn't ink that side because I figured it would be hidden with this piece. Inked all the way around this one. And my last piece. Now, at this point, you could either staple it, or I'm going to sew across mine real quick, and I will be right back. Okay, so I've just run a straight stitch right across. I used them pretty wide so that if they do decide to use this and cut off the top or undo the stitching, it's going to be easy. Plus, it's not going to be seen, so it doesn't have to be anything fancy in here. So now I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to open it up and I'm going to decorate. I think for one side, I'm probably going to take a piece of lace. Put that there. Just going to use a little bit of, actually, I'm going to let it glue pretty good because, and I'm going to let this dry. So you could do this. This would probably be a great mass make because you could make all these toppers and let them dry, because I don't think you want to run the glue through your sewing machine until it's dry. Really, I probably won't decorate this side anymore because I like that. But you could go crazy and add all kinds of fun things. You could use little pictures, numbers, let your imagination go crazy. The thing is, anything that you put that is directional, if they do use it, it's going to be sideways like this. So, are you okay with the 6 being sideways? You know what I mean? Because if you put it like it should be, when it's your scrappy notepad, it's going to be sideways. So, either I would use something that's not directional, or, probably kind of try to steer away from that. I don't know. It doesn't bother me. I might just, on this side, I could make like a little collage strip. Something like this. What do you think? So it can be staggered however you want. So if it was hanging on the edge of a page like this, would you think that looks okay, or does it need something else, like maybe a stamp? This would be my page edge. That would look okay, wouldn't it? And then I could put a little piece of something right there, or maybe, and so it looks good both ways. What do we think? Yeah, let's do that. Okay. And if you wanted to strengthen this piece in here, we could have put a piece of washi across there. So we may do that on the next one. But for now, there's that one. So let's make another one. What to do with the rest of my tag top? Oh, I used it on another sheet. That's what I did. Okay, so since I don't have another one, let's cut one. Make it whatever size you want. Preferably straight, which mine are never straight. And then I'm just going to fold it in half. And you could make this bigger too. Lots bigger. I think I am going to put a piece of washi on this one, even though it's not going to tear, because it doesn't have the serrated part. I still think I want to put some washi. I think that will be a nice addition, probably. Seems like I have washi laying all over the place, so I'm just going to use it. So if you were using the serrated edge, this would help to support that. And it doesn't matter if it can be crooked. I mean, this is just going to be a page edge. So I like the idea of layering it out like this one. So I think I'm going to try to find some more pieces like that. Have some Florentine paper. Let's do some book page. Maybe some Florentine paper. Let's see what this looks like on the side of a page. It's cute, isn't it? If it had a number or something, or a stamp or something they could add later on. But this is a good basis for it. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. Now I think on this front, I might use a piece of muslin. Yeah, that's what I want to do. And I'm going to leave it that long because it'll just make it look that much better on the side of a page. I think I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac though. Guess I don't really have to because I am going to end up sewing. I'll just use a really thin line. And I think I want to stamp this. I want to stamp my muslin. Just have a number stamp here. And I think even if it goes onto the side of a page, it's still going to look okay. So do I want it in brown or black? I think black. This is going to look cool when it's sewn across. And when it's hanging on the edge of the page, they can always add more things to it. This is just a basis for it. Okay, so we have 2 toppers now. I'm going to go ahead and finish the bottom of the other one, or the writing spot, I should say. I'm going to round my corners, though. I will go ahead and put a little bit of script. Never can get happy with that. Okay. And then I think I'm just going to use this flower and put down in the corner. Here, I'm going to live on the edge and go to the right corner. How about that? That looks kind of cute. So this will be the writing spot. Maybe on the back side of it, I will do the same. Use a little bit of notebook. I'm sorry, a little bit of book page. I'm right back to that left corner, ain't I? And then I'm going to stamp some numbers. Me and my numbers. I stamp a lot of numbers, don't I? Something like that. Then I think I'll take a little rub-on once this dries. I'm going to use a little rub-on to go over the top, and it'll be clear so my numbers will show. Again, this isn't anything really fancy, but it's just enough to get the writing spot, you know, a little something extra and not just be a plain piece of paper. How's that? Cute. All right, so this is done. Now we need to just find some scrap paper. Okay, now I'm going to just ink. So now I've got 2 scrappy notebooks that can be 2 other things. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew across this one. I'm going to go ahead and sew these. They should be dry enough now, and I'll be right back. This really could be a easy mass make, because when I was sewing it, on my toppers, I just continuously sewed. Like when I finished this one, I just went on to this one and whatever. That way, you know, you could do a whole string of these things and it wouldn't take very long at all. So we got our 2 toppers. We have our 2 scrappy notepads. Now we're going to put them together. See, I think magnets, the magnets I have, I don't know that they would be strong enough to hold through all of that. So I'm not gonna try that, because I don't think it will work. So I'm just going to do it another way. This will double actually as something more than just to hold it on. I'll show you what I'm saying. On this one, I think what I'm going to do, I think because I've stamped right there, I don't really want to run an eyelet through my number. I think what I'm going to do on this one is punch a hole right here and use a brad. And then I'm just going to find a brad, maybe even like this one. It's kind of a greenish color. It looks a little rustic, and that would probably work just cool. Goes right with the autumn thing. So there you have it. Now we have this one complete. And as they're using it, when they're done, and this is on there good and tight, they can take out the brad, use it on the side of a page, or they could put an eyelet through it. However, I just think, see, I think that'll look cool on the side of a page. I really do. Wonder if I should use a smaller brad. I don't guess so. It doesn't need to show the one, does it? But I like that. My second idea was we'll put eyelets in it. So let's do that. And I like the idea of the eyelets because when they're on the side of your page, you can hang charms from them too. So you could either put eyelets in, well, I mean, you can put the eyelets in or not, that's up to you. But you could also run a string, you know, like a twine through and not do the eyelets. But I think I'm going to do the eyelets. But to do them, we're going to have to do both sides because we don't want to run it all the way through our paper too, or we won't be able to get it back off. We're going to put 4 eyelets in. You don't have to put 4. You could leave one side without eyelets. I probably will. I don't know. Yeah, I'll probably put eyelets on both sides. Okay. So I was right. See how that's tearing? I should have put some washi tape. I actually could put it on the inside to give it some support. But I think if we use that serrated edge, definitely want to run something across that just to give it some support. You could run tape or anything. Doesn't even have to be washi because I'm not going to be able to see it. And that should keep it strong. Got all my strings here, which I love because I like the grungy. All right, so do we want to put twine in here? Do we want to put some kind of sari silk? I think twine is what I have handy, so that's what I'm going to use. It's the closest, so we'll use this. Something like that, and then I'm going to add a little something to our notepad. You could also put a charm in here. I think that would look cute. I seem to be on a roll with numbers, so I think I'll stick with that. It's got a little number charm here. Didn't do very good poking my hole, did I? Almost poked it through the edge. So, and I just ran it through the first one. I didn't run it through the one in the back, just the first one. And then I'm going to do a little something here too. Which one is this? Let's do, what should we put here? Maybe a little sticker? Actually, I just want this wheat looking part, so I'm going to cut this off. I know it's not wheat. I don't know what it is. And then I'm going to trim this. Make sure I don't have none running over the side. So, I think I want to stamp a little number right here, though. Or maybe I want to put a little number. Of course, when this is hanging down, I guess I don't really need it, do I? I still want a little stamp there, though. Kind of crazy about my stamping, ain't I? Something like that. I like that. Isn't that funny? I like that. This one, I think I want to do the same, put a little bit of this weird stamp here. Texture stamp. Something like that. I know that's probably overkill. I still like it. I'm wondering about putting this stamp like this and then cutting it where it, you know, part of it's on each. I'm going to do it. I don't know. What do you think? Yes, no, maybe? Okay, there we have it. Our 3-in-1 ephemera. We have our mini notepad, scrappy notepad, and then we have a side embellishment for a page. And then we have, when this is used, a really pretty journaling card. What do you think? I like it. And these were quick and easy and fun. And this doesn't even touch I think the amount of things that you could do with this, I just probably come up with the bare basics, but I think there's so many wonderful ways that you could do this. And again, you could also, if you were going to do the double one, you would just sew your notepad while this is open, I would think. I guess you could sew it across here because you're going to have to snip that part off anyway. So sew your notepad, put your topper on. When your pages are all used up, you would just snip off that part, open it up, and you have more wonderful writing space or spot to make another little notepad. I love it. I love these. I think they're so cute. I hope you do. I hope you make some. And if you already do something like this, share with me how you do it. I'm sure that there's 100 more ways to do this than what I have shown. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time, guys. Bye.